Hello, Scorpio, and welcome to your monthly tarot reading. So this is for the month of July 2023 for Scorpio, Sun, or Rising signs. So we are taking a look at the overarching theme for the month, what's something that's going to be running through the month, and then we're also going to take a look at the progression of the month for the beginning, middle, and end of the month, and a challenge that might be coming through for you, and also the, interesting. Actually, it's so interesting because I felt like that was meant to be here. So we're going to go with that. Like, I keep getting, like, when I get those and they keep coming through, I'm like, all right, I'll listen. I don't know if that happens for any of you who read tarot out there who happen to be watching this, but that happens to me. So, all right. And we are taking a look at the progression of this month. And also some spiritual advice that is coming through with that as well. Actually, I'm feeling this top card. Do I want to take another card? It's so interesting. This is the first reading I've had in a while where I'm like, the cards are just not in order. They're just like coming out in different orders. So I'm going to stick with this unless I feel like there's another card that I want to pull for you, Scorpio. So you may have noticed recently that I was doing astrological videos or astrological information that was being incorporated into these videos, but it was making it really long. So if you haven't been here in a minute, or if you're new to my channel, welcome. Thanks for being here. Make sure to check out the playlist that I have that's called Astrological Highlights if you do want to hear more about like what's up for the month. I will have the first, I was doing those bi-weekly. I think I'm going to do smaller videos throughout the month, but I will have either way the first of the videos up at the end of this reading, so you'll have that that you can click over to. So let's take a look at what the overarching theme of July is. So what theme is going to be running through this month, and what we have showing up is the second house, right? So yes, it's the house of resources, very clearly. Yes, our personal resources like our money, and our other people don't necessarily think of like our resources like this anymore, but our food is part of our resources, right? Like our Maslow's hierarchy of needs, our food, our water, our shelter, yes, our money, but the things that are resourced for our living on a day-to-day basis. The second house also has to do with self-worth as well, can have to do with the body a little bit as well, although it's not like the most common thing, but I would say yeah. So mostly though, it has to do with like the way in which we utilize our skills for gathering resources, like how we gather resources in the world. It's definitely one of the money spots. So that is up. You know, and with Pluto having come back into Capricorn, I think this is up for a lot of people, you know? So, and again, I'm not going to get into the astrological stuff very much here. So looking at how the month is progressing, we have the 7 of Coins, the 8 of Coins, the 10 of Swords, the Tower card, and the 10 of Wands. You know, coins, like immediately, like we have Earth and Earth coming up again. So I feel like that's also highlighting with the resources that we were just kind of talking about. So let's go through these one by one. In the beginning part of the month, we have the 7 of Coins, right? And so you might have felt like you've been really like building for quite some time, putting time, energy, and attention into building your resources, into like basically into working your garden so that you can have a harvest, right? And so you might be starting to see like some of the fruits of your labor, or you might still have like, you know, start to see like how much work you have in front of you to go. The 7 of Coins is basically like, yes, you still have more to go, and it's about having patience. Also reconsidering, I think considering and reconsidering the process, how you're going about creating the stability, the finances, or like whatever it is that you're looking to manifest and create, right? This is like the earth suit, right? So this is the physical realm. So we are talking about, yes, finances, our physical location, our resources, right? Our food, like all of these kinds of building blocks. Yes, our finances as well. I think I said that already. So, you know, so these are all things that are up. And so with that patience, we have time to also consider like, all right, there's still more work to go. I need to have patience to do this, But with that, we have time to consider what our values are in terms of like, is this aligned with my values still? Like, how do I want to grow my garden essentially? And so that is what's up for you at the beginning of the month, is like the patience that you need to have with this process with regard to your resources, you know. And then we see the 8 of coins, and I believe that here we're looking at, for some of you, this is going to be a continuation of like seeing that there are other skills that would be beneficial for you to learn about or to incorporate to progress or to move yourself forward along the path of like how you make money or your career or whatever that is. I also think that this, for some of you who are already studying, this is just like honing your craft. So the attention and energy being in the middle part of the month on continuing to sharpen your skills, to continue to learn, to continue to hone your craft essentially. And also having patience. Like, this is also knowing that you haven't gotten to like this masterful place with things yet, and that it's just going to take some more time, but it would be of interest and be beneficial to actually work with either progressing your skills or find like, and this doesn't have to be career or just like student related, right? Like, this could be also having to do with something that you're learning on a personal growth and development kind of level. Maybe you're wanting your relationships to be better, your communication to be better. I always recommend that. But like, that might be what you are like you've been putting time, energy, and attention into these things. Maybe it's tied into self-worth and your values, and seeing like there's still more to go, there's still more time, there's still more honing your craft. So I like to give different examples so you can see like, yes, this is leaning towards more of like your career or craft or how you make money, your resources, that kind of thing. I definitely feel like that's coming through strongly, but I just like to give another example so you guys can see like how else this can play out, because it is a collective reading, right? So we come into the end part of the month and we have the 10 of Swords. And, you know, with the 10 of Swords, this is, you know, the ending of a cycle, the ending of a pattern, the decision to let something go. Like, whatever has not been working, whatever you have been kind of like going against the grain, it's like kicking a dead horse. Like, you've got to let those projects or those patterns or those people or those whatever go. Like, it's done. It's like been done. 10 of Swords, like normally you see the like 10 swords in her back, and it's pretty gruesome scene. But in the background, what we normally see, and this particular deck doesn't actually illustrate that, but what we normally see is that with the death of this person that has like the 10 swords in the back, allowing something to die, allowing something to be done, letting go, with that letting go in the background, there is the dawn is coming through from the night. And so there's this dawning of a new day that really comes through when we allow ourselves to really let go of those patterns, those things that we've been holding on to that are no longer working. And I find that that goes extremely well with the card that we saw showing up for your challenge card, which is the Tower card, right? I mean, and nobody's a fan of the Tower card showing up, especially in a challenge position. But I think it further emphasizes that the more that you continue to hold on to the things that are not working, the more difficult it will be, right? Usually, especially if the card is the Tower card is in some kind of challenge position, it's like there's a resistance to letting go, right? You have to sometimes allow the structure to completely dissolve so that you can go back to this drawing board and you can create a more stable foundation, a more stable structure in a way that actually works better, something that will stand, something that will stand the test of time, something that will last, that has the strength and the fortitude to like hold up against all the changes that come with life. And so clearly there's something that hasn't been working. Now, if this does have to do with like your career, your resources, your finances, like, yeah, something hasn't been working. That might feel really intense or really scary to be in that process. I'm not saying that that would be easy. You know, money issues can be really, really challenging and scary because this is like our survival, right? It's our livelihood. So the tendency is to hold on. So I would say, like, with the Tower card, it's, you know, showing up as a challenge to let you know, like, hey, you gotta understand that the more you are gripping to this, the more detrimental it's going to feel, and the more intense and the more dark night of a soul it's going to feel. Not that it's not going to be challenging already, but just that it becomes more challenging when we do that. And like also the cards are for your spiritual advice that comes through with that are reflecting that as well. The 10 of Wands is here to say like, hey, this burden is too much. You got to put some of these down. You got to let some of these wands go. You can't carry it all by yourself. You can't carry the full load of whatever's been on your shoulders, or try to make something work that's clearly not working. It drains your energy. It drains your ability to show up to life, and it dampens your ability to just stand up straight in the world and feel like your shoulders are unencumbered, and to feel like there's possibility in the world. There is a lot of possibility in the world, but there's a letting go that needs to happen. And we also see here that the 10s are aligned right here in this row, right? 2 10s. There's the ending of something, the letting go of something, the putting some of the weight down, right? Letting go of some of the weight. And then we also see it reflected in the Tower card as well. There's something to be let go of. So I feel like the beginning of the month and the middle of the month is more kind of instructive. It might feel like frustrating because you want things to go maybe more quickly than they are. And so it's requiring patience. And we see that like Saturn is retrograde right now, right? Like, so Saturn being retrograde, it's like that slows the process down. It slows things down, especially earth related things, especially related to this kind of reading, right? So this area of life with like resources, with work, with this, with that, right? So this is something I would say is like, it's informative. There's information I think that you get here. Maybe it requires patience, but it also I think will give you some information about like how to proceed, what things need to be worked on to move forward, and like evaluation of your values and like how things are being created, how this is being created for you. And then in that evaluation, I think you will get some information about what needs to be let go of, because there's just like some really intense hard information or hard feelings here. And the thing that makes these even more difficult than they already feel is when we're gripping, when we refuse to put the wands down, when we refuse to like offload some of the weight, when we refuse to let go of a pattern that's no longer working, hasn't been working for a while, when we refuse to let the structure dissolve because we're afraid, which is totally fine and normal and okay, but just recognizing like there's a letting go and looking for the opportunity inside of when you let go. Right? I know that it's like kind of spin doctory to go like, okay, well, you know, it dissolves down to square one. The whole structure has been like, you know, decimated. And so we're back at the ground floor. And with that though, you have so many possibilities and opportunities to build it in any way that you want. You're like, I didn't like the kitchen over there. Now it can be over here, right? That's just a silly example, but it gives you an idea, right? So you can see what opportunities open up inside of the letting go. And I know that that's hard. I'm not diminishing that in any way. I'm just letting you know that it will be more painful and stressful and difficult and heavy and cumbersome and sharp if you are not able to work with that energy in this way, right? So that's the information that's coming through. I hope that this has felt insightful and helpful for you. And if it has, please consider giving the video a like. It does help as I'm building the channel and helps me with the algorithm. And also, if you'd like to see more cards, like what the cards have in store for you, I do bi-monthly videos that go from full to new moon and new moon to full moon, along with these monthlies, plus the astrological highlights and more videos on the horizon this year. So please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell. I will see you in the next video. Thanks for being here. Bye.